is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me.
Finally coming to you live, drama queen on the rise, on time. Here we go, step back and let me flow. Count my blessings, that's real. Motivation and skill. Podcast, social media, YouTube. I hope a meal's giving everybody cold like I got the chill. Taking trips across the world, no stress, just to chill. Lay back, feet up, grinding 24 with no sleep. I'm Lady Luscious and I'm here all week. Hey, so tune in, 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 tune in. So tune in, tune in, so tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. Hey. What it do, what it do, what it do. We are back with podcast number 6. Yes, we finally made it. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm here today. I am going to be talking about mental balance by nature. So I really want to just get into like all this mental stuff going around, and please don't think I'm throwing no type of shade. If you do feel like, I'm throwing some type of shade, I will drop the link for my counselor at the below, okay? Because obviously if you feel like I'm doing something, then you probably need it. But I feel like people use mental health as so many different things. I just feel like they use it against people. Some people they don't even know what mental health is, and I feel like that's a lot of reasons is like we're not educating ourselves as a society to know that it's a real issue, and yes, you can die from it. So I got the the definition. Like I said, some people are unaware of what it is. So I say that effort to reduce the stigma around mental illness and mental health conditions by sharing our personal experiences. With that being said, like I said, mental illness don't even have to, it's nothing that you could be even born with. Like sometimes it's just something that develop over time because we as a society we ignore it, and we also pick fun at people who do seriously have some issues. And it's okay because we all have our flaws, but you have to separate from having flaws and mental illness. You know what I'm saying? So some of the examples that I have of this is depression. Everybody has been in that moment of depression. See, the thing about it is if you can't pull yourself out the depression. I think that is like the number one thing that hurts us in the world. We just don't understand that sometimes it's bad for us, and you will be so depressed that start being suicidal. A lot of anxiety. Now I can say that anxiety is like, in my eyes, is number one. Yes, depression, but I feel like anxiety, because anxiety is one of them things where it's not easily noticed. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't even like notice when they got it. Depression a little bit so much, but anxiety is like a twist to it. Because I mean, think about it. You look at a airplane and somebody be like, oh, you want to get on this plane, and you be like, no, I don't do heights. But then you get on the airplane and you good. Anxiety is kind of like, well, no, like you kind of shaky, you gibbery about it. So you just gotta kind of know, like, if you see somebody is like that, don't pick fun of them. You know what I'm saying? Don't make them feel like they different. Bipolar. I know a lot of people always say, you bipolar because you moody, but did people also know that also has something to do with depression? So like I said, a lot of this stuff goes, hand in hand. Dementia is another one, attention defect, and post-trauma stress disorder. These are all an example of, with mental health and us taking care of ourselves. So I just really want everybody to be aware that if you do know someone that is suffering from this type of, illness, that don't ignore it. Just, be there for them. Just kind of like be there for them, and just, really just be aware that this is an issue, okay? So with further notice, I have my cousin here. Her name is Diamond. And she is going to be talking to us also. We just have a conversation with her, because I feel like, a lot of things that she's overcome in her life, I feel like she's a strong woman. And some things that I'm just like, wow, like, how you do that? But, she could further explain it than I can. So, what's up, Diamond? How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna talk to these people about some mental balance, by nature. Have you ever been depressed?
Definitely. I think everybody probably been depressed in their life at some point. whether they told somebody or didn't. Like, a lot of us choose to go through that depressing stage alone. Like, and I'm like here to say that, like, reach out to somebody. Like, it's good. Like, you may think that, like, oh, I don't want to put my burdens on somebody, or like they don't really care. But I feel like sometimes just letting somebody else know what's going on is very important. Because, like I said, you know, because depression, I'm sorry, it you can end up, you know, like some people, it gets so bad to where people choose to do suicide, and like nobody know. A lot of the times when people choose the suicide route, it's like people don't even, like, I didn't even know nothing was wrong with them. Like nobody, it never said nothing to me, and it's just like I know some people don't have those outlets. Yeah. But if you do, I say definitely take advantage of it. Yeah. Because somebody got to know.
What you like people to do, like if you feel like you're down and depressed, like what do you do to like smooth it out? Like what do you do? Like some people read. I read. I go to sleep. Yeah. Some people read.
Reading is actually like an escape. Like I just recently got back into reading. Like I used to love to read. It definitely has to be something that I.
What you read? I know this. Like
I like urban, like those urban stories.
Like nasty books.
No, I never said that. Like just a real storyline, or even like the little, like the love story ones, or not even just like love story. Like people who like them stories where like, you know, it
get deep.
Yeah, it gets
real deep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like when they make them some movies. You know what I'm saying? You be like, oh man,
like when you can really like picture like the stuff going on in your head. Like I like stuff like that. Like,
they get detailed in there, y'all. Yeah. We gonna have Diamond drop some books too. We gonna have to have her drop some books on her page. Okay, so what about anxiety? You know, I have anxiety, and I didn't know I had anxiety, but I actually have anxiety. I was reading one day, and the thought of somebody dying or the thought of something happening, I just started almost crying about it. It like I don't know. If
like you can be doing something and then randomly like when you be in your bed and you be like, you get out of nowhere like, oh my God, where's my social security card?
Yep. Like, ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But anxiety, like seriously, like
I'm the same way.
I don't know what that is. Like I was at work and I was like about to have a mental breakdown. I'm like, oh my God. I just all of a sudden started thinking about something randomly, and then work was, I guess my phone rung and I just got all like shaky, like I feel like I was out of control. I'm like, whoa, what's wrong with me, bro? Like, and I started looking it up. Like, okay, so y'all, when I say I have anxiety, I'm not diagnosed with this stuff, but like I said, it's always okay to see a counselor. You know, like people always frowned up against stuff like that. I feel like it's great to see a counselor. How you feel with seeing counselors?
I'm very for it. I actually. I think I want to say last year I started seeing a therapist, like, and people always make it seem like seeing a therapist is like a bad thing, or
especially
it makes you crazy. Yeah, like please, like urge your people to go see a therapist. Like when you see like people don't understand like childhood traumas, like that is real, and a lot of people don't try to do anything to fix it, and now they put in they stress or they hurt or they pain in their relationships or in their friendships or in a in the families, you know, like, and people don't understand, like, you have to fix that, especially like when you plan on to have kids, like your kids pick up on behaviors, like you don't want it to be a repeated cycle. So it's definitely important, like go see a therapist, like if that's what you need to do, like it's not just for relationships, for yourself, like it's very important to get in tune with your emotions and to hear an outside person, not somebody who's gonna be biased or someone who
you gotta take constructive criticism too, because if they tell you something that you need to follow and they not saying it to be me,
that's what I'm saying, like having that person to talk to that doesn't really know you, they don't even know they can't really you know, they can't really side with you, or they can't really be against you because they don't know you, you know, so it's like it really helps, like having that advice and giving that support.
And another thing I noticed that what helps really good when you talk, and say like, so you have a friend, and I know people always say, you know, like, well, if you can't tell your friend exactly how you feel, then that ain't a friend. But I feel like now with adulthood, people have friends for different reasons, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but in my life, I have friends for different reasons.
They serve
you know what I'm
purposes.
saying? So I feel like if it's a conversation that I feel like, okay, maybe this friend can help me, but I'm kind of afraid of the backlash because it's me. If it was somebody else, I feel like they could have. So I started talking to third person. I'd be like, okay, look, I got this cousin, right? Or and the whole time it really be me. But because I'm just kind of anxiety, I just kind of fear that, you know, you going to kind of come at me a certain way. You kind of gonna judge me because you know me.
Right,
so I started talking in third person. Like, well, look, I got this friend. They in this situation. You know what I'm saying? What should I do?
But I also just feel like you definitely should have friends that like don't make you feel like I'm judging you or whatever, maybe because we all got our demons, we all got our own problems, and that's what friends are for. But like I said, if you don't want that bias or that judgment, you of course
go to somebody professional.
Reach out to somebody professional.
Don't try to go to somebody that just, like you said, just gonna judge you. And I think that's what's separating with my trauma from being a child. I don't know how to pick friends, and I can definitely tell you, I don't know how to pick friends. Like, I can be honest with you and sit here and tell you that I don't, because I think that everybody is supposed to be me.
Yeah.
And that's not true. I'm very loyal. I would never do a such thing to whatever. And I just want to talk, about things and laugh. But everybody is not like that. Some people, they don't like to laugh about pain. They really trying to cover it up and bury it. And you sitting there looking at them, and they're in their head all the time. So you call them and thinking like, hey, we about to have this conversation. They in their head instead of telling you, hey, I don't really feel like talking right now, or at least kind of like giving them the heads up, like, hey, I think that's what disconnect the friendship, because now, and then you got all this build up, and then y'all break apart as friends, and then bam, over something so small that could have been prevented, and not even just, they just in their head, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, like, you wish you could unfold all that stuff, and it's impossible. That's why you said, as a therapist, they should definitely do that they should take that in consideration. I had a lot of things in my past that made me feel like, oh man, I'm not gonna succeed, I'm not gonna do well. But if you think those things, then you won't. It's crazy how like I said, your mental can really drive you crazy. Like, if you start to see yourself folding under pressure or doing some stuff, you need to slow down.
Yeah. Because
think about it, we just on here talking off our head. That's how like, you could just not even rehearse nothing, because y'all, we have not rehearsed none of this. Me and Diamond's literally having a genuine conversation. I got a few little notes that show us where we going, so we don't get off subject, but other than that, we really putting it out there on the floor, because it's not just adults no more that's having mental, problems. It's the kids, the babies. They're watching their parents, and they're crying and depressed, and that's not good. We don't want a generation. Yeah, and then everybody hate each other, and you trying to figure out what's going on. Everybody fighting because nobody has addressed the mental illness that should have been taken, to keep.
And people, like I said, people don't give people a chance to have like even kids. Like, I definitely do feel like, of course, in a respectful way, but like, kids should have a certain ground area to really come to their parent and talk to them. Like, I feel like, as especially Black people, like they're so quick to like basically ignore sweep under the rug or ignore your child's feelings because you feel like they're a kid. Ain't like I don't care what nobody say. Like, kids stress, and kids they have emotions, and they start
acting out of character.
And
they start refusing to do things.
Like,
you gotta pay attention. You're right.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta give your child the space to talk to you. Like, I definitely, like, my son, like, I want my son to tell me everything. Like, I want him to have me and his relationship to be as transparent as possible, because I feel like, your parents supposed to be that your first person that you should feel
and
like
line of defense. Yeah, and definitely line of defense.
And when you don't have that, it's just
I definitely get it. And you know what, that comes with that post-trauma stress disorder too that I was reading about. When you don't have your child's back, or you're not really focusing on them, you all about yourself. Then it's a generation, and then you kind of not everybody, because some kids, they, like I said, they're aware of things like this. They see the issues. They have people talking to them, so they just like, oh, okay, well, my mom is sad right now, she'll be okay. But that's okay. So it's human to be sad, but if your mom's sad all day every day and don't want to do nothing with you, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, because the baby can't tell you got a problem, or mama go see help. That's really
that's
terrible.
Important too. Like,
it's terrible.
That's like one of the biggest battles I have too. Like, like,
I've been there.
I definitely get into those depressed modes, but I also have to realize I have a child that's looking at me, and that I gotta, I try to figure out ways to get out of it, because it's like, at the end of the day, my son don't deserve to see me like that.
You
like,
tell him how old your kid is?
Yes, my son is 8. He's a smart 8-year-old.
Y'all follow him on TikTok. I'll drop his TikTok.
I can't even tell you his name.
It's King something. I'll get it, y'all. It's TikTok.
Yes, my son loves TikTok.
And you know what? That's his outlet though. When King is like real, like, you know, okay.
Yeah, my son is very creative.
Yes, he is, and he can sync, y'all. Y'all know what that means? That means when the lips be moving with the, he can sync. And they told me, I said, what that mean, y'all? They said that's when the lips be moving. I said, oh, you can sync.
Yeah, lip sync. Definitely.
I just feel like, you know, I was in counseling for 10 years. You know, my mother, she put me in counseling because she felt like, you know, I was a depressed kid. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I was depressed. I know that I was sad. You see what I'm saying? So you don't be aware of what the depression is, but as a child, you know something is wrong. Mm-hmm. And then I started, you know, going through a suicidal path where I felt like I was being bullied because I was fat. You know, just all type of stuff. So that's why, actually, I got kicked out of counseling, y'all. Like 17 years old, the counselor told me that I no longer need to be there, you know. And I thought all these years that I was crazy. You know, I thought I really had an issue. Imagine, 8-year-old going to counsel all the way up to they get 17 years old to find out ain't nothing wrong with me. I was just, you know, the environment. That could have been the environment, could have been my weight. It could have been, you know, my environment at school, you know, because I went to, you know, people think that Lincoln Park, Allen Park, Melvindale aren't like rough schools, but if you let anything get to you while you going under like mental, anything could break you down. You know what I'm saying? It could be a bird getting ran over.
Everywhere.
Yeah, right? Bullies are everywhere, and if you let that stuff control you, you know, it will. It definitely will. So, you know, I shout out to the kids who don't let bullies hurt them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so sorry for the kids that we lost that did have to face things like that, because I wish I could have gave them my strength. You know, I wasn't born with this strength. You know, it was just something that I kind of, you know, just something that kind of, it happened, you know. So the things that I really, you know, want people to be aware of is just kind of be aware. If you see somebody that need mental help, or you see that as a strong individual, I'm not saying that you judging them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you picking fun at them, but listen to them. Sometimes they just need somebody to hear them. Don't even say nothing back, you know, unless they ask you. They like, oh, you ignoring me. But honestly, I feel like you should just listen to them, you know, and just kind of just be there for them. You know, some people just need to hear their stuff out loud. I know I'm one of them people. Like, I be thinking in my head, but then I say the stuff out loud. I'm like, dang, I got mad at that. I seriously was crying over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started kind of laughing. Like, and then you know how you get back on the phone with somebody and they're like, you good? I'm like, man, I'm straight. You know,
I do the same thing. Like, sometimes I be like, I'm also like self-awareness. Like, no one's being how to tell yourself like, okay, you was wrong for that. Like, or holding yourself accountable.
Reflection.
Like, yes, reflecting, holding yourself accountable. Like, that's very that's all. That's, you know, let's go right along with you know, holding yourself accountable. Like, you know, I was wrong for that. You know, I could have handled that better. Like, you have to be very aware of like what we do. Like, you can't always just point out what somebody else done, but you got to know when you done something to hurt somebody.
And you can't just say I didn't do anything, because I feel like nothing is perfect. You done something, because you know they wouldn't be feeling the way they feel, or something had to be done. You know,
you can't tell somebody how to feel. You don't know how something that you did.
Can't tell them I'm sorry for you feeling that way. No, because you obviously had a choice in doing it also. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like another thing is like, you can't sit there and try to point out everybody else's mental illness and you got one. You know, like, it's just not fair. Like, you, and can y'all stop going to like the social media about it? Just get some help. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I feel like as a society, we need to do that better. And if y'all see somebody, like if I'm talking to a counselor or I'm talking to somebody, that's how I would get my people. I would be on Facebook looking for people that I could kind of, you know, refer, like, hey, just a general reminder that I am a counselor. Like, you know, not just pointing out people, but just sending it into a group, just letting people, like, counselors. And I think that will make people feel better about counseling. If y'all let it be known that, hey, I'm a counselor, you know, hey, you know, I am somebody you can talk to or whatever. Like, don't try to keep it in the dark, because we need those type of people out here. We seriously do, you know. So you know, like I said, went through a lot of dramatic stuff in my life. And as a woman, you know, I only speak for what I know. As a woman going into my 20s, what am I, in the middle of? God, Jesus, I'm in the middle. I'll be 27. So coming in the middle of the 20s, I feel like the women mental health is a lot. Because I give it to y'all mothers. Like, I just be sitting there looking like, dang, like, you know, like, I love my stepchild dearly. Yes, I do. But, you know, at the end of the day, I respect his mom. I respect, you know, the foundation that is raising him, including myself, helping. But I just look at y'all like, wow, like, this kid goes to you for everything.
No,
I
really,
mean,
like,
everything. And I'm not yet a mother yet, y'all. So I just be sitting there looking like, dang, like I've had siblings, you know, that I've helped raise or whatever, but I am not yet a mom. And that's why I'm trying to do everything with, you know, because you can't be super prepared. You're not going to be.
yeah.
I don't care how prepared my mental is right now. If I have a baby and it's crying through the middle of the night, let me tell y'all, this podcast might get deleted. Okay?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, especially being pregnant at 16 years old, trying to finish school.
Yeah, and
like,
you finished.
And
See?
I did.
But you did. And
yeah,
that's what I'm
definitely,
talking about, y'all. That's
school
what's
was
up.
like a priority to me, so I always
Give it up for y'all. You
like,
know what I'm saying? Because
I always make sure.
That's a lot, y'all.
People say like, oh, ninth grade was the most important because it is. It's like you're stepping
Wait, so you was
into
in
high
ninth
school.
grade?
No, I'm saying like I was just saying going back to the fact that like, you know, I did so well my 9th and 10th grade years that like when I got pregnant in 11th grade.
Okay.
I'm sorry, like the end of 10th grade going into 11th grade.
Yeah. Oh.
I was pretty much, I didn't have that many classes to take. Like I took off a whole semester to have my child and, you know, be with him.
Yeah.
But it didn't affect me much because I took school so serious and I worked hard. And
tell them
I
about
just
when
had
you
to
got
finish.
done, how fast you went back to work. Like, cause you was there.
Yeah, like how fast was it? I'm trying to remember.
Look, y'all, she had a C-section. She was back at work. You had him September.
To take off like I want to say like 6 weeks.
So
I had my child end of September, like middle September,
by
and
October.
I literally got hired in October. And I was and it's crazy because like I'm definitely not like putting that out there like, oh guys, that's not even healthy to do. But of course I just felt like I had to do what I had to do. Like,
and you did it.
I had to work.
And
I had to go to school. Like you know, like I knew the responsibilities that came with being a new mother, and I'm like, I got to get on it. Like, C-section or not, you know. And I'm blessed to, you know, I ain't have any complications, and I was able to work because, like you said, it's not. I'm not advocating this for anybody because it's definitely not safe. Definitely took that 6 weeks off, but. For me, it just wasn't ideal. Like I needed to get back to work. I felt like, you know, I was a young parent. You know, I knew that like somebody had to do it. So I'm like, I mean, I also had to help his father, of course. But as a mother, you know,
how old are you now?
I am
about
to be 25.
Oh, she didn't remember that.
It's so weird saying I was. It's so weird. It's gonna be so weird.
She said 25.
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
It's so weird saying I'm about to be 25 because
the years
crazy.
Go so fast.
Yeah.
You know, I do remember.
My
you know,
son about to be 9. Like,
he's about to be 9 years old. I do remember him being a baby. I didn't believe she went back to work, y'all. I called her one day like, hey, what you doing? You know, how's the baby doing? She's like, oh, he good. I'm about to go to work. Go to work.
You just give birth?
Did you just give birth? I was confused. I said, well, what you about to do? I'm thinking maybe she do some home care or something to stay at home. She's like, no, I'm really going back to work. I'm like, dang.
On my feet.
Yeah. And then after that job, she directly got another one. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, she got another one.
Long,
so she definitely was, you know, have been, and I feel like that's another thing, y'all. If you starting to struggle with like depression stuff, remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? Remember the struggles that God already got you through. Because I feel like if He could get me through that, then this right here, ain't nothing else that's in my way that can stop me. Yeah. Like there's nothing else. Like I feel like once I hit that bottom rock. And it have a way of breaking you in. God have a way of breaking you in.
It's gonna be smooth. It's not gonna
be it's not gonna be smooth.
It's gonna be bumps and obstacles.
It hurts. I have to say it hurts. But you know what? When you get out of it, And you know what I do when I'm depressed? It might sound crazy, but I take pictures. Ain't that crazy? I actually take. I don't know. I guess you could tell. I take about 10,000 of them through the years. But
you can definitely look back and be like, damn. Predicament, but you know, you can look at
seriously.
More pictures back going forward like dang I really overcame that.
And you know how they say on TikTok, they say show me a picture of the time that you were struggling the most and nobody realized. That right there, I really felt that because when I look into them people's eyes through a camera, I'm just like, nobody probably even knew that person was that depressed, and they were so pretty and just you be like, dang. And
that's another thing, like I'm glad you said that because like people feel like like not everybody look like what they go through.
Oh
like,
no.
Yeah, I put on this makeup. I get dressed and look nice, but that doesn't mean I'm not going through something inside. I think people fail to realize that. Like, oh yeah, she I just seen her. She look fine. Like she she's just like that. Don't mean that. Like
depression
people have
a face.
It really doesn't. And it's just like a lot of people put on a face just to.
And sometimes I say cover
just to the outside. Yeah,
sometimes
just to the outside world.
That be the main, people that is kind of depressed.
Especially like for mothers, like and it's crazy. We have to do that because we can't let our child see us in that state. We got to put that face on. We got to, You know, like and it's probably it's probably like it's probably like it's like up and down like coping mechanism, but it's like so it's like, but at the end of the day, I gotta be strong for my child.
Amen.
Regardless, and I never want him to think that like it's like your child feed off of that. They can feel that energy and they know when you're not your best. Like I know my son know me.
Yeah, even when you got people around you that's making your child depressed. Sometimes it ain't even the parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be, a grandma, a auntie, a cousin. And it's crazy how that works because you be sitting there looking at your child, but that's why you gotta be careful about who around your baby. And to be aware. Of certain things. Because it's just, have you ever been depressed about I get depressed about my body all the time. I ain't gonna hold you.
Weight is definitely the main thing. One of the things on my list that I get depressed about.
Yeah.
And also just at first, like I used to have big breasts.
How big is it?
I can't even tell you. It's crazy. I never knew like the real size of my boobs. Like I just put a bra on and knew what I could fit. Like, that's crazy. So I want to say that was about an H, maybe like an I. I did get on size, but it's like nobody wants to repeat that. It really does.
So
nobody want to.
So you got the surgery. You got the surgery.
So I didn't like something about myself, and I went to go change it. So I definitely one of my friends actually referred me to a doctor, and I was one of my friends got it done first, and of course that really gave me the urge, like somebody to like really do it. Even though I did have an older cousin who did it, but I don't know, like I still just was like so scared, and like I guess
but she also was like older than you.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Really see
so
what
like
she went through at your age.
Yeah,
she was your age. She was like she was your. I mean, she was like in her 30s.
Yeah, so I didn't get to witness that, but to see my friend actually go through it.
Oh my bad.
To see my friend actually go through it, and it really gave me that to like go do it. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. So
do you feel like, okay, so I kind of don't want to get too much off subject because I don't want to angry nobody, but do you feel like that's the same urge that people be feeling about like BBLs, and do you think that's how people feel the way you felt about your chest? Like, hey, I need to change this. I got the money, I got the insurance or whatever. They gonna help me. Do you think that's how women feel? Did that help you like clear that? Like that's how they be feeling.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I'll get a BBL. I ain't gonna hold you.
What? What you getting?
Like, I guess, but I think it's a society we in that like we see all these nice ass. We associate them with BBLs, and just like if I had the type of money, I would. But my question is, would you wait until after you have kids?
Because that would be a waste of energy. Think about it. You went through all that surgery to get through
I probably want to wait till like I know I'm done.
And that's the thing. I'm okay with that. Like for somebody been working out and they've been dedicated and they got exactly kind of what they need, and then they like, okay, then I need to do a little bit because it's gonna be skin, it's gonna be different stuff. To tighten it up a little bit, to just shape it out a little bit.
It does come with a lot, like,
and depending on your field though, because I feel like some people. What is your point? Okay, can I ask y'all ladies this? What's your point of going to get a BBL, doing all this to work for a garbage truck? Like, I thought you would be a model at this point. Like, did you just really spend all that to get that? I feel like it has to be something with your profession.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta fit an image. I guess they just don't like it then. I guess you're right.
Some people it's crazy because like I do feel like some people do it for men, but I also do like feel like okay, like I just want a nice butt. I like to look at myself. I want to have a nice body.
On that garbage truck?
But that don't make sense. Like I mean, it's crazy. They gonna have everybody gonna be waiting on the garbage truck.
So you know what I'm saying? Outside every morning 8 a.m. on Tuesdays. But I also feel like even with that, it comes with maybe you're not gonna be that no more. And they gonna be like, hey, you want to,
and that's the thing. It gives
it's an investment.
It gives it's an investment. It gives you unwanted attention. And that's the thing. Like, don't be out here getting a BBL and like nigga all over you or like. It comes with attention.
Why.
And I feel like you should know that. Like,
right.
So it's like,
I get it. I can't
stand when people like be acting like they don't want that attention, because I feel like to a extent you do want that attention.
Yeah, you want that attention, exactly. But
if I was to get one though, like I definitely want a natural looking one, not the pear shape, the apple shape. I want mine to look as natural as possible.
Right here.
Like I don't even want it to even look like I got a BBL. Like I just want to add a little.
So would you encourage women to go to your doctor? You like the way he did you? It was a
woman.
Oh, it was a woman. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Do you like the way she?
Dr. Mabry.
Okay.
Yeah, she works at Trenton.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Beaumont.
How long did it take you to heal and everything? Did you Are you still healing?
Yeah, you can actually heal. Like, healing really takes up to a year. Okay. I got mine done last September, so I'm almost at that mark.
Yeah. And she look good, y'all. She look good. You know, I can if she allowed me on the podcast, I'll put some before and after pictures on here just to show y'all. You know, she look good. It look really nice. She can fit bathing suits now. You know what I'm saying? Yes. She can fit her little with dresses and different things.
Yeah, like, it was always just hard because I had to base my shirt size off of my breast size, like my stomach. You know, so it just was like it was just frustrating.
Yeah. So did you have like issues with your body before the surgery? Like, was your back hurting and stuff? Was you just like uncomfortable? Because I'm uncomfortable now.
Yeah, my back always hurt, and then just always just being a child with big breasts, it always gave me attention I didn't want. Like I said, back to like the attention thing. Like I didn't ask for big boobs, so like, but my thing is I had them, so I had to deal with the extra attention and people always sexualizing me because I had big boobs or making it seem like I'm trying to have my cleavage out when I just couldn't help it. So it's just like it was just too much. Like, you know, like
and you don't have that issue no more, do you?
No, I don't think people say, and that's fine. Like, I don't want nobody being like, oh, unless I'm actually intentionally trying to have them out.
Y'all, I still like. That's still calling.
I really
because you're not even calling somebody something for so long. Yeah.
It's just like,
and that can mess with your mental too because society is mean. You know, they just really
or
mean.
It just makes me feel like, dang, you know, like I'm more. Like, don't just make it about, you know.
Wait, so it something like wrong in dating?
I mean, in a way, it just made me feel like, okay, like, do you like me or do you like the fact that I got big chest or, you know, like just stuff like that, like, you know. But that was like when I was younger, of course. But like, you know, now I'm older, it's like that's so.
That's why I get it. Yeah. So y'all got a lot of information out of us today. I love it. Shoot, we gotta do this again. We gotta go ahead. But you know, if anybody else got some topics for us, you know what I'm saying, that would be wonderful. You know, I really appreciate you coming on here today, Diamond, and giving us some of that, you know, examples of all type of mental health and everything. So I appreciate it, you know. So if you go ahead, and we about to just go ahead and close this out, you know, Diamond, go ahead. You want to tell them about your Instagram? You want some Instagram followers? You go ahead.
Well, you can follow me at _DIAM _ yeah. On Twitter.
No, we could keep that. Y'all get the Instagram, then y'all got the rest at that point. And y'all already know this is Drama Queen Luscious Radio. And you know, we'll be back with something else. You know, y'all go ahead and please, I got this new my boyfriend and my stepson, they got this new song out. It's called BU. So we trying to do the BU challenge, so we gonna get that on practice and stuff. You alright? It's okay to be you.
It's alright, it's alright.
So we gonna get up out of here. So I'm about to go finish frying this chicken and get ready for work tomorrow. So we out. See ya.
It's alright to be.
This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do for me.
Finally coming to you live, Drama Queen on the rise, on time. Here we go, step back and let me flow. Count my blessings, that's real. Motivation is skill. Podcast, social media, YouTube. I hope a meal giving everybody cold like I got the chill. Taking trips across the world, no stress, just to chill. Lay back, feet up, grinding 24 with no sleep. I'm Lady Luscious and I'm here all week. Hey, so tune in with me. Tune in with me. Tune in with me. So tune in with me. So tune in with me. Tune in. Tune in.